Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk with you about scheduling your day. Now, we've all got massive demands on our time, haven't we? I certainly have. It seems everybody wants a piece of me every single day. It's quite frustrating. You want to get stuff done, but other people are coming and they're grabbing your time. And that means you're not able to do the work you're meant to be doing. One of the things that I've found which helps with this is to have a consistent method for managing what you do with your time. And it's so important to put this in place. We all have a natural amount of time and energy that we can use for concentrating. And it varies quite wildly between people. And to be honest, in a given week, it can change for yourself from day to day. When I look at my use of time, I find that mornings, that's when I'm more productive. And my wife, she finds that evenings, that's when she's most productive. It's a nice balance to have in a marriage, isn't it? But what we need to do is to identify this in ourselves, work it out, because that way we can actually schedule the most important work, the work where we need to concentrate, into that period of time when we're generally at our most efficient. And it's really easy to do. Just look at it. Make a note for yourself over a number of weeks. Use the time tracking methods that we've already discussed. You'll soon find out when you'll be at your most productive. Once we've worked that out, what we need to do is create a consistent routine so we're getting the best use of our time. Now, routines, I'll cover those in a different video, but they're really important to productivity, and understanding and using them will really boost the results you get. So I looked at my time, I looked at my day, I looked at my natural patterns. And what I do is every single day, I set up a number of blocks. So the template for this, 8:30 till 9 a.m, that's when I spend a few minutes to think and to plan about what I'm doing. I then take a 5-minute break. These breaks are really important because they let you quickly recharge from what you're doing and swap context to the next piece of work. 9:05 to 9:50, that's what I call work block number 1. 45 minutes. I find that's the ideal amount of time that I can use before my mind starts to wander. So I do that 45-minute work block 1, then I take a 10-minute break. 10 to 10:45, work block 2, followed by a 10-minute break. You notice these breaks, as I said, they're really important. 10:55 to 11:40, work block 3. From 11:40 till 12, that's when I'll look at emails, catch up on those, get them out of the way, get them into my collect system. 12 o'clock, I have my lunch. I try to have my lunch about the same time every day. 12:30 to 1:15, work block 10-minute break. 1:25 till 2:10, that's work block number 5, then my break. 2:20 to 3:05, work block number 6, 10-minute break. 3:15 to 4 o'clock, work block number 7. 4 o'clock until I finish, catching up on emails, messages, voicemails, reviewing what's been going on during the day, and getting things into my collect system. What this means is every day I've got 7 concentrated work blocks. Blocks 1 to 3, they're in the morning. They're generally when I'm at my freshest and when I'm able to concentrate more. They're my productive blocks. So in here, I try and do all the high value and some of the more urgent work that gets it out of the way in the morning. Blocks 4 till 7, well, these are in the afternoon, and they're generally my brain's starting to get, I'm going to say tired. Tired's not quite the right word, but it's a good word to describe it. And here, that's where I would try and look at some of the more medium to low value work. The things that I put off from the morning, so I do them in the afternoon. Included in this day, I've got 2 blocks where I'm checking my emails. So I'm keeping up to date. I'm able to respond in a roughly timely manner because I'm checking them twice a day. Those 10-minute breaks, as I said, they're really important. They let you recharge your brain a little bit. But there are also times when I will go and I'll check any messages and I'll make any phone calls that I need to do. People know that within an hour of receiving a message that I'll respond to it. I always try and avoid answering messages and phone calls during my work blocks. They're distractions I don't need. They take me out of the focus. They take me out of the work I'm doing. And that I find is really a big impact to my productivity. So I'm using these blocks. I'm able to spread out my work. When I'm planning my day, we'll get to that in a second, I look at the amount of time that I think each action will take. So say I've got an action that I think it's going to take me 2 hours to do. Well, I just split it over 3 blocks so that I've got 3 blocks of 45 minutes in which to work on it. Works really well for me. By doing this, I'm able to plan my day and I've got a really good idea of what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. It works for me. For you, chances are it'll be slightly different. You may be able to only go 30 minutes for your work block, or you might be able to go for an hour. You need to identify that. You need to use time tracking. You need to look at what's going on and work out what's the best combination for you. Now, this sounds really good, but you must be saying, but Gary, that only works if you sat at a desk all day. Yeah, that's true. But if you're in a trade, you can use the same sort of idea. You can book mornings. So in a morning, you might book 3 appointments. You can look at the routes that you're using to get between appointments and those breaks, that might be a travel time between them. There's all sorts of different ways that you can manipulate this, but the same thing happens. You schedule in work blocks. By scheduling a work block, you know what you're doing. As I say, I'm an office worker, so I use a calendar to structure my day. Even a tradesperson, I think you'll still have some form of calendar or diary that you're using. The work slots, I try to put them in a month in advance. What I do is I've got a little cheat. I use Apple, so there's an application on Apple called Shortcuts. So I've actually set that up and it creates all these for me automatically. What happens if I get a meeting request? Because I've booked these slots a month in advance, I can usually see what clashes there's going to be, because most people, when they book a meeting, it's usually within 1 or 2 weeks. It's not more than a month. So the meeting request comes in, I can jump to that day, I can look at it and see what it is, see how it clashes with any of my work blocks, and then just delete the work blocks. Accept that meeting, that's fine. My calendar then still looks good. But also by being able to look at it, if the meeting is scheduled for, say, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I know it's something that we could do in the afternoon, I can go back and say, look, can we have it in the afternoon? By doing that, I'm still able to keep my morning free for that highly productive work. As I said, I use Apple, so I also use Apple Calendar. Now, there's loads of different calendar apps. Find the one that works for you. It works for me, which is why I carry on using it. What I'm going to do now is switch over to the computer, and we'll take a quick demo of how I set up my days. So here we are now down on the computer. What you're seeing is my basic template plan for a week. So I've gone through and I've already created these. As I said, I use a shortcut to do that. It's not really in the remit of this video, but if you're interested in shortcuts, please let me know, because I can do a video on those. So as I said, this is an example week with my dummy calendar. I have one calendar that I use for my main calendar. This is one I've called video. It's because it's been created specifically for this video. I'm not going to show you the rest of my calendars because they do contain personal information, so I don't think that's fair. So I've got some dummy calendars which we're going to use in this video. My dummy calendar then, it's got this nice pink colour, so I can see that this is the normal work. And as we can see, if we look here on Monday the 13th of June, I've got it planned out as per my work blocks. So I've got think and plan, work block 1, work block 2, work block 3, emails, lunch, work block 4, work block 5, work block 6, work block 7, and then my final emails and reviews. So say I get a meeting request come in. Now I can't simulate that, so how I'm going to do it in here is I'm just going to add a new meeting, but we'll pretend it's someone sending it to me. So they want to meet on Friday. What we're going to do then is I go to Friday and I create a meeting. I do that on this calendar app I use, clicking the plus button, and what I can say is meeting about Fred's project, Friday the 17th of June at 10 a.m. for 2 hours. So I've typed that in and it then creates it, and I can then pick what calendar I want to use. Now I'm going to hide my calendar list. What I've done, I've got a calendar called Fred's Widgets. This is about that project So I've created a project calendar so I can easily see what I've got to do with Fred's widgets. And on here we can see I've got 2 o'clock a release planning meeting on Tuesday. And then here's my new one. I can double click on that. I can go and change it. So I want it to be 2 hours. So I'm going to go till 12 o'clock. If I want to invite people, I can invite people from there. If I want to make some notes, I can go and add some notes. By adding the notes into the actual invite here, I've got everything in one place. I don't have to spend time worrying about finding what goes where. Now, I've got that appointment, so I can see, well, this is going to impact my day. I can see how it's going to impact my day. So what I need to do is I can't do work block 2 that day, so I can go and delete it. Neither can I do work block 3, so I delete that as well. I've also got an overlap here with my emails, etc. I'm going to leave that because I'm hoping the meeting will finish early so I can still get on and do those emails. So that's how I handle when I get a meeting request in. At the start of each day, I look at what I'm going to do for that day. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend we're planning the day for Monday the 13th of June. So when I look at this, I've got certain actions that I need to perform on that day. These actions, and remember please, this is a stupid, a daft example just to prove what I'm doing. What I'm saying is on that Monday, I've got to draft a sales report in preparation for Friday's meeting, and I think that's going to take me 3 hours. I need to review the draft release plan for Fred's widgets, and I think that's going to take me an hour. I need to write an agenda for next week's team meeting. I think that's going to take me about 30 minutes. And then I need to read through a contract for Wilmer's software project. That's going to take me 4 hours. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, I don't actually have anything on my calendar for Wilmer's software project. So what I do is I go and look at the list of calendars. And what I find is I don't have Wilmer's software calendar turned on. Put a little tick in that box. That's now turned that on. So I can now see, well, that meeting's on Wednesday. Let me just hide this. I can actually go in and once again, rearrange Wednesday. I'm going to get rid of work block 1 and 2. And that's left me with the kickoff meeting. And again, there's a little bit of overlap with work block 3 because I'm hoping the meeting may finish early. Right, we're back to Monday. So now I know what I've got to do. So what I think is I plan out what I want to do that day. So work block 1, what that's going to become is I'm going to write the sales report. I find that I do my best work on the morning. That's when I'm at my most productive. And this sales report, it needs me to think about it. Now, I've said that the sales report is going to take me about 3 hours. So what I do is for work block 1, work block 2 and work block 3, I assign that to write the sales report. So that means now for the morning, I know that these are the actions I need to be doing. I then look at, right, what do I do next? Well, I'm now into the afternoon. So the first thing I'm going to do is I know I've got to get the agenda written for the meeting next week, but I also need to make sure that I'm getting that agenda out in a timely manner. So what I'm going to do is in work block 4, I'm going to say this is team meeting prep. And I'm going to add a note in here. So I'm going to say in here, I need to create an agenda, but I also need to do something else. I need to speak to presenters. That's to make sure they're aware of what they're talking about. So that's all done within this block area. So this team meeting prep, I think, yes, it'll take me about that 45 minutes in total. And in there, I've identified these 2 tasks that are needed. That's now booked in. I go back to my task list. What else have I got to do? Well, I need to read through the contract for Wilmer's project. I'm starting to feel a little bit drained now. So reading through a contract, making notes on it, that's actually quite a good time to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm saying, well, work block 5, this is, I'm going to just call it Wilmer's contract review. I understand what that means. That's all that matters. It doesn't have to be something that someone else understands. Same with work block 6. So this has given me an hour and a half from that task, which I think might take me about 4 hours. I've spent an hour and a half. I'm going to now take a break for it. So part of this work will move over to another day. Most probably tomorrow, but it could be later in the week. As long as it's done by 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday, that's what matters. Work block 7, What I'm actually going to do here is I wrote a report in the morning, but I like to review my work. So here I'm going to review the sales report. There we go. That's now added in. So now I know that in that final work block of the day, it's dedicated to reviewing that sales report. And I think 45 minutes, that'll be about right for doing that. This review sales report, it wasn't in the initial list of tasks. What was in there was about preparing the report. Preparing the report isn't just writing it, it includes reviewing it. So although it's still part of that sales report, although I split it up throughout the day, I'm doing things in the right time for me. So I'm writing in the morning when I'm at my freshest, and then I'm reviewing it later in the afternoon when it's had time to sit with me, and generally that's when I can pick up issues that I come up with. 4 o'clock hits, we've done everything, so now I review my emails, I review what I've done that day, I make any notes, I make sure my action management system is up to date, and that's it, all done. So this is what I do every morning. I go through and I plan the day. Now I do understand things will change. You know, something comes up during the day, you've got to react. But by having this plan, by having this structure, it lets me handle that and also make sure that I don't miss anything. So by spending a few minutes to do all this, I'm scheduling my day. It means that I know the impact of everything I'm doing. Now, most days, as I'm going through, things happen, things change. By using the time blocks, I can move things around quite easily. You know, it's there, it's in combination with my action system. Now, if things go to pot, everything has to change. That's fine. The items are still in the action management system. I'll just schedule them tomorrow. I've shown you here just planning for the day. That's actually how I do it. I plan in the morning. I used to plan a week in advance. I used to think, yeah, Garry, let's go out there, let's plan it. It's Monday morning, let's know exactly what we're doing all week. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? By the time I got to Wednesday, the whole week had changed. Things happen, priorities change, new work comes in, things go wrong. I found that planning a week in advance really was struggling, which is why I moved to this idea of just planning what I'm going to be doing during the day, on that day. Now, I know when my meetings are, so I know what I'm scheduling around as well. So what I'm trying to do is juggle getting productive work done, getting deadlines met, getting work out of the door. By using the calendar in conjunction with my prioritized action management system, I'm able to focus on my work, I'm able to add value, and I'm able to deliver the results I deserve. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Do you use a calendar? Do you use this idea of work blocks? If so, please drop a comment down below what you're getting from it. Is it easy to do? If you're not using this, why not give it a go for a couple of weeks? You'll be surprised once you get into the flow how much it can impact on your productivity. Please hit the thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. Just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.